Namaskar. Welcome to your geography class. Today we are going to sum up our chapter because we are going to discuss a topic number 4 from chapter number 2. Chapter number 2, that is of the natural resources comprising land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife. We have discussed the prior 3, land, soil and water. So today is the turn to discuss about natural vegetation and wildlife as a natural resource, as a Mother Nature's gift to us. So, as it is a gift to us, we should respect that instead of working towards the depletion of these resources. So, concern is same, conserve all the natural resources that has been given to us. So, without any further delay, let's start our today's topic, that is natural vegetation and wildlife. We know that Mother Nature has given it to us, whether it is a vegetation or it is a variety of wildlife. We are extracting various features from vegetation as well as wildlife and for various concerns as well. So we are going to discuss entirely about the concept of natural vegetation and wildlife as a resource. So let's start the discussion. Vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. Valuable, we are talking about economic value over here. We are not talking about the value of natural vegetation and wildlife as a non-economic resource, because our concern is related to the humanity and how humans are using it. That is of economic value instead, or if we compare it from non-economic value. हमें earning source के concern में इसको discuss करना है. So natural vegetation and wildlife exist in the biosphere, as both of them are living beings as humans are. So humans, animals and plants, 3 of them survive in the biosphere. What is biosphere? A narrow zone where atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere meet up, and they comprise a narrow zone only. Meet up as they provide survivable opportunities or circumstances to all the living beings. Plants and animals provide us with many different products. Many different products can be for the industrial sector and can be for personal concerns as well. Personal concerns, we are talking about vegetable. We are talking about further other features. Milk products from the animals. So these are not for any other part. These are for our personal concerns. For industrial sector, vegetation. In the vegetation, we can add up agriculture, and it provides various raw form of various agents so that they should be transformed into the ready to use products. Let's discuss further. So I have already defined you the biosphere. Still one more time, a narrow zone where the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere. Lithosphere comprises land, hydrosphere comprises water, and atmosphere comprises different layers of the air itself. So they meet up and create survivable conditions, as in sufficient amount of water, sufficient amount of air and sufficient amount of land to survive. In the biosphere, living beings are interrelated, interdependent. How so? 3 of us are interdependent and interrelated to each other. No matter we are talking about oxygen and carbon dioxide over here, or how we are utilizing each other in various other patterns, as in we consume plants, animals do consume plants, and how plants do need us for the consumption of carbon dioxide, as they are inhaling carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen to us. This life supporting system is known as ecosystem, as every ecosystem comprises certain kind of conditions for certain kind of living organisms. And this is a basic feature of giving you the information related to biosphere. In biosphere, there are various ecosystems for each and every type of living organism. Whether it is a lion or a rabbit, both need different kind of ecosystem. So we are talking about that. So atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere are meeting and giving this narrow zone to us. Moving further, we do have various plants or uses. We have plants and we have their various uses in the terms of we can extract vegetables, we can make perfumes from certain kind of plants or certain kind of trees, as in from sandalwood, we can extract the perfume essence as in the form of nectar or liquid form. From the rubber plant, we can extract rubber. Then we have the vegetables. We can have medicines. We can create medicines. Some plants of medicinal purpose also. Over here, you can see the rubber, the books, the furniture from the wood of the trees. So trees / plants in whole vegetation. So there are various uses of vegetation. This was given in the terms of images. Then further, uses of plants given in the form of a unique diagram, as in plants are of medicinal plants, or plants are of medicinal purpose also. They give us paper supply from the trees. We do extract the wood pulp or the paper pulp, and from there the papers are manufactured. Fruit and nut production, they gives us shelter belts as to prevent soil erosion, of course. So soil production, for that part, as the loose soil is going to erode or washed away easily, and if we are planting trees in the soil will not be loose anymore, and that is how the soil is being protected by the plants. Then oxygen production, they do produce oxygen that is required by the humans as well as animals. And over here, animal shelter. So forest in whole vegetation provides a natural habitat to the wildlife. And timber supply, timber hardwood, from which we do manufacture ships, and it is used in manufacturing of the furniture and various other concerns. Then wildlife. So that was the overview, or you can say the basic concept of the vegetation and its uses. Now we are talking about wildlife and the products or the uses of the wildlife. We can't use the wildlife, but of course we can extract some of the features from the wildlife that we can utilize further. So includes what comes in wildlife. There comes animals, birds, insects, aquatic water life animals or water life forms. We are talking about the various species that live within the marine part or the water bodies. So animals provide milk, meat, hides. Hide means the skin of the animal, the upper layer of the skin that is utilized for the manufacturing of the leather varieties. They can manufacture, or the humans can manufacture within the industries. Of course, we can manufacture leather bags, leather belts, leather shoes and various other things. Wool also. So these were the basic uses of the features that we extract from the animals. So bees produce honey. And then pollination. Pollination is the process where bees forms the honey. They do extract nectar from the various types of flowers and act as a decomposers. Birds feed on insects and contribute to the decomposition. Vultures as scavengers. Flesh-eating animals. And over here we are talking about vulture as a bird. So it is a flesh eater. Clean the environment by feeding on the dead livestock so that it will not pollute the air as well as the soil. Then all animals, big or small, are integral to maintaining balance in the ecosystem. For example, in the food chain, each and every animal, bird, they have their individual responsibilities that has been naturally given to them. They don't have to pursue or follow a certain kind of path of, rules or regulations. They are born to do so. So likewise. Then silk, another God's gift or God's creature. It is the tiny one, but it is of economic value, quite a good economic value, as silk is obtained from the silkworms that are bred on mulberry trees. Mulberry trees, a variety of tree species for which silk is obtained, as silkworms reside onto this tree and they extract their whatever food requirement is there from that tree, and that is how after breeding the silkworms from the mulberry tree we are extracting silks. So silkworms are reared for extraction of the silk from them. Moving further, the contribution of the vultures, as we have already discussed, that they do eat the dead livestock. So that is how they protect the environment in the prior concern. So vultures in the Indian subcontinent faced kidney failure. On one point, they are giving the huge contribution in the cleaning or purifying of the environment. How so? By eating the dead, the remaining of the dead livestock over here. And on the other hand, they are experiencing kidney failures because they are eating the dead livestock, and those livestock were fed for the treatment part with a certain kind of medicine or a painkiller, and after those livestock are dead, the effect of those painkillers still resides within their dead body, and when the vultures eats those livestock, the effect of that medicine affects their kidney. So ultimately it leads to the kidney failure of the vultures. That is the basic reason that the count of vulture is decreasing frequently and with a very good speed, and that is a cause to worry about the species of vulture, so that they should not extinguish from the earth surface, and particularly we are talking about Indian subcontinent. So the kidney failure is experienced within the vultures after consuming livestock treated with a painkiller. Painkiller is diclofenac, and government has took the initiations to stop the consumption of diclofenac, and this diclofenac is treated, or it is used for the treatment of the animals itself, for relieving them from the pain. But now this medicine is not to be prescribed by the doctors. So efforts are on to ban diclofenac for livestock and breed vultures in captivity in the protected area, so that they should not eat random dead livestock. Now the distribution of natural vegetation. There is 30% of the land present on the earth, and onto the 30%, a good amount of land is there where naturally the vegetation is occurring, and the abundance of the natural vegetation, or the resource of the abundance of natural vegetation, if we have to talk about this point, we have one particular answer in our mindset. That is Amazon forest, the largest rainforest in the world, carrying thousands, actually more than thousands of species of natural vegetation along with wildlife as well. Still, let's continue with the topic. So distribution of natural vegetation. The growth of vegetation depends primarily on temperature and moisture. If it will be the extreme temperature, likewise, I have just given the example of Amazon basin. So why they are known as the largest rainforest of the world? Because of these two factors. How so? As Amazon basin, Amazon river, along with Amazon forest, don't worry, these three are the indifferent features of one unique one, that is the Amazon region itself. So Amazon region में ही river, basin and forest पाया जाता है. So don't worry about why am I giving three individual features. So Amazon lies on equator, and we know that equator is the latitude which receives maximum sun rays or maximum heat or insolation throughout the year. So more the temperature, more will be the rate of evaporation, hence leading to the maximum rainfall throughout the year. So temperature and rainfall are the responsible factors on which the vegetation growth depends on. Moving further, major vegetation types we do have over here. We do have forests, grasslands, scrubs and tundra region. So tundra vegetation is found in the tundra region. And where exactly is this tundra region? So this is the term given to the area where it is almost covered with ice throughout the year, and the basic vegetation of tundra region is the mosses and lichens. So this is the snow covered area, and not entirely to be snow covered, but this region experiences snow throughout the year. So the specific term has been given to it, tundra vegetation. So forest vegetation, grasslands as a vegetation and scrubs as a vegetation, and all of them differ in their climatic conditions that are required and on which the growth of a particular vegetation depends. So they do experience different types of temperatures and different types of rainfalls throughout the year. Heavy rainfall area supports huge trees forming dense forests. Likewise, Amazon, dense means more closure the thing is. Moderate rainfall, neither too less nor too extra, or we can say neither too small nor too large kind of thing. Rainfall regions shows trees of short heighted one, and along with that grasses are also formed in there, and they do form the grasslands in. So over here in the heavy rainfall areas, the long trees and the dense forests are occurring, and in the moderate rainfall area, neither too high nor too low kind of rainfall occurs. In those areas, short tree forests along with not that short tree forests as compared to the long trees of the rainforest or heavy rainfall area, the height of the trees is short. So we can consider the deciduous forests in these regions. So such kind of trees along with grasses are found in abundance, and so forms the grasslands for the grazing part. Likewise, the grasslands of Canada, Australia, America, likewise. Dry areas, so we are talking about the desert region, whether cold desert or hot desert, as the rainfall is experienced in extreme conditions and the temperature is also experienced in extreme conditions. That is how the dry and cold, dry and hot are segregated from each other. So dry areas with low rainfall, it is a common feature of both the hot and cold deserts, but temperatures quite varies as it is polar part. In the hotter deserts, extreme high temperature; in the cold desert, extreme low temperature. So low rainfall supports thorny shrubs and scrubs, कांटेदार झाड़ियाँ, deep roots, waxy leaves. So this is the particular and best example of a certain plant that is known as cactus. So cactus kind of plants do occur in the dry regions. Tundra vegetation in polar regions, North Pole, South Pole region. Remember, I have just told you in the extreme cold climatic conditions, tundra vegetation occurs. So tundra vegetation in polar regions includes mosses and lichens. So we have basic features of the vegetation present in heavy rainfall area, moderate rainfall area, low rainfall area and tundra region. Then population growth has led to large scale deforestation for agriculture, not only agriculture, for the urbanization part as well. And forest cover is rapidly declining. Of course, when we are doing more and more deforestation, the forest area is going to decline, and it is emphasizing the urgent need for the conservation part. So deforestation stopped with the immediate effects and afforestation should be promoted. All that's being promoted, if we talk about India itself, India में हमारे afforestation को fully promote किया जा रहा है. As according to our government, we do celebrate one Mahotsav for once a year, besides for a particular date, but still we are putting some initiations to grow more and more plants. So that is how it works. Conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Government has again put forward majority of the initiations. It has created national parks, bioreserves, wildlife sanctuaries, but along with that, what else? We have to read out. So forests are our wealth, our property, and whether it is a nature given property, but still we inherit it. We, the humans, inherit this wealth given by the mother nature. Plants give shelter to the animals, not only to animals, to us as well. Together they maintain the ecosystem. Climate change and human references lead to the habitat loss of plants and animals. Due to the climate change, we are experiencing global warming, and of course, human interference is certainly there in the creation of global warming, because it is not a natural concept. It is a human created concept. We are the one who has or who can be, not to be credited, who can be held responsible, because it is a guilty part. So we are responsible for the global warming, and of course that is leading to the what? Leading to the habitat loss for plants and animals in whole together. So many species are now vulnerable. Vulnerable means they are almost on the verge of extinction. As one example we have already discussed, that is vulture. And they are endangered or near to extinction. Khatam hone wale hain. So for that part, we have to conserve the vegetation and wildlife. And factors accelerating, the factors that are increasing, enhancing the extinction, whether of a plant life or the wildlife itself. So some factors are responsible, and before I move on to the discussion of the factors, I want to share this image and the information related to it. This is the image showing loss of rainforest in Great Nicobar. Andaman Nicobar Islands of India after tsunami. So tsunami, it occurs naturally, but nowadays human activities are responsible because tsunamis are the huge destructive waves that occurs in the open water bodies, likewise oceans. But why do they occur? Because of the sudden vibrations. And what creates those sudden vibrations? Earthquakes, landslides, as well as volcanic eruption. Now human activities are increasing the speed of these further occurrences of these destructive what to be said as factors, likewise volcanic eruption, earthquake and landslides. So humans are creating these disasters, although still to be considered as natural disaster, but still humans are also responsible for this fact. So as I was to discuss factors affecting the extinction part, so deforestation, soil erosion, construction part, urbanization and all that, forest fires, not only the increase in temperature naturally, although global warming, we are talking about the global warming, certainly over here in the case of forest fires. As the temperature is rising globally, that is leading to the forest fires, huge forest fires that can't be controlled for months actually. And tsunamis, we have just discussed, along with that landslides. So these are some basic factors that are responsible for almost the vulnerability of some specific species of plants and animals. Then poaching. Poaching is the illegal hunting of the animals for their individual concerns. We are going to discuss. So poaching causes a sharp decline in the species numbers of the illegal trade of hides. Hides, the first layer of the skin from which we are obtaining various leather resources, leather belts, leather bags, etc., etc. Then we do use some specific animal skin as well, just for the decorative concerns, for the manufacturing of the coats or anyhow. Likewise, fox skin, lion skin and all that. Nails of the animals, teeth of the animals, horns, feathers. It is not about each and every animal, but from individual type of species of a particular type of wildlife, we are extracting these features. We are illegally trading them because they are of high economic value. Then affected animals. So which are the basic animals? As I was talking about the individual species of wildlife. So the worst are affected are the tigers, lions, elephants, deers and black bucks. These are being particularly hunted just for the fun part also, besides their other usages. Now the conservation measures, I have already informed you about basic few. They are the national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserves. So these are constructed by the government part to protect our natural vegetation and wildlife. Along with that, conserving creeks. So these are basically the water bodies where the migratory birds used to come. So conserving creeks, lakes and wetlands prevent resources depletion. So in here we are talking about the bird, migratory bird. Migratory, those who migrate from one place to another according to the seasons, as they are habitual of living in a certain kind of climatic condition. So wherever they experience that, so once in a year they do migrate to some other place. For example, in Rajasthan, in Bharatpur, there is Ghana Bird Sanctuary. Over there, various migrants from all over Asia, they do come in the winters, almost in the beginning of the winters, that is by the end of November, and throughout December and January they stay over there, and by the beginning of the February they do take the departure. Moving further, environmental balance is maintained when species populations are undisturbed. Undisturbed and their count varies. Some are growing in their count and some are certainly declining. So declined concern is with us. That is due to somehow reasons, either they are being killed or any other factor is responsible. Encourage awareness among the people, common people, about these importance of the resources. So programs like social forestry and Van Mahotsav I was talking about. Promote bird watching. For the Ghana Bird Sanctuary, I have just shared an example. And nature camps among the school children, so that they should be fond of their environmental issues and they should know how it is to be in the warmth of nature and to be among the nature. Whether for a while, but still they are going to consider the difference between the, urbanized life and the forest camp or the natural camp life. That is how we can make them aware. And that is how we can protect our extinguishing species of wildlife and vegetation for our upcoming future generations. Laws in many countries prohibit means ban the trade and killing of birds and animals. So no trading for economic value. In India, it is illegal to kill lions, tigers, deer, great Indian bustards and peacocks, as black buck also needs protection, and it is being, and not only it we are talking about all of these, they are being protected within the wildlife sanctuaries and several other programs that are started by the government. And of course, government is willing to initiate the concern if anyone particular or any NGO or any, the group of people are willing to take the volunteership for the same concern of the protection of natural vegetation and wildlife. So that was the entire scenario of the natural vegetation and wildlife, why they are required to be conserved. And we have discussed three terms: national parks, sanctuaries, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserves. So let's have an overview of all of these, at least for a while. So national parks. So what are national parks? A natural area designated, they are particularly assigned to protect the ecological integrity of one or more types of ecosystems for the present and the future generations. Likewise, these elephants, and one of the national park is Kaziranga National Park. This is particularly assigned for the protection of elephant species as they are declining frequently and rapidly. Talking about the biosphere reserves, so series of protected areas linked through a global network. Likewise, you can see the example and the protected species as well. So intended for the purpose of the creation of biosphere reserve is to intend to demonstrate the relationship between the conservation and the development. Further is with us sites. Likewise, camping sites, visiting sites, so those sites. So Convention on International Trade, promoting international trade in endangered species of wildlife, that is fauna and flora. So it is an international agreement between, it is done between the governments of various nations, and the tag that is designating this international agreement is CITES. So basically, within this CITES program, or according to this CITES, various species should be, and not only various, actually entire flora and fauna should be conserved, should be protected, no matter how and howsoever and how so many steps are required for the protection part. Moving further with the CITES itself, lastly, we are summing up our chapter within a while. So just making you prepare about the concern that we are going to finish our chapter. So you should be bit aware right now. Neend aane lage. So I'm just giving you the moral impact ki bhai chapter khatam hone wala hai. Let's do some more discussions. Conservation of plants and animals is an ethical duty of every citizen. So get ready, and assigned duties are with you. You have to fulfill those duties. As we already know that initiation should be done from the individual at first, then it will spread to the society automatically. While the fact is that one can inspire the others, so be the inspiration and start the initiation to protect your surroundings. So what we have discussed throughout this going on topic, kaun sa topic bhai? Natural vegetation we have covered today. So what will be the learning outcome? So we have discussed the entire concept of natural vegetation, wildlife. What are the species of wildlife that are endangered? And particularly we have discussed vulture and why it is almost at the verge of extinction due to the consumption of the dead livestock, as they are being treated with the particular painkiller diclofenac. So that is how the case is, and how the conservation is required or must for both the natural vegetation and wildlife, and what are the steps that has been started by the government and by the other governments of the nations worldwide. So this is the outcome of our chapter. Now, as we do according to the custom of the each and every class of ours, by the end of the class, before summing up the class, we do discuss few MCQs just to recall the part whatever we have discussed. So here are few questions, hardly 3. I think that will work. So our first question is, what is the biosphere? As it is a narrow zone comprising lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere, and wherever they meet. So option number B, if the define is learned to you. Second question, what is the main purpose of establishment of national parks? To protect ecological integrity for present and for future generations, as it is required in the future as well. Lastly, what is the primary goal, the basic goal of social forestry programs? To encourage sustainable forest management, so that forest can be conserved, can be protected for present need and for future generations requirement as well. Present need, we also want to live, we do need oxygen, that is how. And there is no further explanation for the part that why natural vegetation is important to us. So that is all about our chapter number 2. So that is finally going to sum up in this class itself. In the next class, we are going to discuss the book parts, question answers that are given at the back of the chapter, and further following with the extra questions class. So I hope the chapter was clear. Soon we are going to catch up in our exercise class. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.